Why, hello there, friends and followers. So yes, as you can tell, I'm working on the Drake T4XC PTO now. And I took this out of the radio. It was a real pain to get out. Why? Well, you have to deal with these wires here. Power wire, I clipped this one off. There's also a wire here for the, okay, here they are. So there's also a wire here. And it's this one here. That's where the output comes out of it for the frequency. And this is a ground wire. So anyway, when you're all done rebuilding this thing, or at least detoxing it, you want to connect these up with jumper clips to your radio and then calibrate it. So maybe I'll show that later. But right now, I took this one apart. This one worked reasonably, but well, you can't really clean these discs properly. And you can see how these are filthy. So I really wanted to get these out and clean them off with some soap and water before I christen this radio clean and done. And this is the last radio I have to clean, so I'm kind of happy about that. Anyway, W4F, I think FRN, the guru, I think his name is Robert, he said that this thing should be cleaned up, and so no oil at all. And really, you can see people have oiled this guy here a little bit. I took pains to get all the oil out of this. Since when this is together, there's a rubber piece that goes on here, and this shaft and this one turn in exact lockstep. So there's no reason to put oil on this shaft, because in normal usage, these two are locked. And why are they locked? Well, there's a pin that goes there. There's a Circlip, and let me find it and show you how it works. I guess I wasn't too prepped for this video because my desk is a mess and I put everything away. But yeah, just suffice to say, these go in lockstep. You want to pull this off, and you want to make sure that this gear here and this spin well together, and they're all removed from detox from oil. So you want to just get oil out of here. You don't want to use chemicals. You just want to get the oil off. So the fellow W4FRN was saying use some sandpaper. I don't even want to do that. So I put these back together, and I think they go like this, actually. And you can see it spins reasonably. There's no friction. You can see that there was some friction. That's why this bushing is all kind of multicolored. There was a lot of oil on there. Not a lot, but some grease. And this thing had some grease in it too. There's still a little bit of galling in there, but not much. And so I'm not willing to put sandpaper in there at all. But what I did was I used a pair of needle nose pliers and some paper towels. So I'll show you how I did that. So you can take this and you can wrap paper towel around some needle nose pliers like this. And then I would simply, even if it pops out, it's fine. You want to make it kind of thick. So there it is, kind of thick like that, with a few different rungs, and I went like that. And just kind of poke this in here and start rubbing it a bit. And that's how I clean this thing up. So, and you can see now it's pretty clean. There's not much coming off it. But really, what you want is to get all the oil off of this. Have no oil at all, no grease. You want to clean this screw up. There's a bit of galling there, but I don't want to take even sandpaper to it, and a little bit of scoring. I don't want to even do that with it. If I can get all the oil off, and if these turn properly, then I'm good to go. So you can see that turns nice and evenly. Okay, so what if you want to put this thing back together? How do you do it? Well, let's do that together and figure it out. So as you can see, this thing is a pretty cool little device. There's two little grabby things here that will basically cause the wheels to go out. This wheel here, or gear, you don't need to take this one off. It's good to go. It spins nice. I don't think anybody oiled this. Little circlip on there, just leave it alone. Okay, this gear here should not be lubricated either. And this one, you have to pull it off and on with the whole assembly, which this is why you can't do this inside the radio, because there's no room and you can't pull it on and off inside the radio. When it's mounted, the discs will hit things and scratch, so you want to do it this way. Okay, so how do I do that then? Okay, let's do it. I still want to clean these discs off, but for a demo to show my friends and followers how this works, and ham radio enthusiasts will do it together right now. So first we take the back disc, and that's the one with the large numbers. So the back disc is, how is this? This is tenth of a megacycle, or 100 kcs calibration, and this disc will go onto here. And let's do this. So how do I do this? The first thing I'm going to do is, okay, this little guy goes on between the discs. You don't want to forget that guy. Secondly, there are two little rings on here which I didn't take off, but those should be present. Don't lubricate them, leave them alone. You can see they're very thin material. Just don't corrupt those, leave them alone. They're happily seated there. So I'm going to take this back wheel, and I think this went like this, the back wheel. Put this into this like this. Yes, that goes in like that. So back wheel, make sure the pins are seated. So the little pins here, make sure they aren't sticking out. So push them with your finger. Don't lose these little pins. These are vital. All right, that one's in, that one's in. Make sure they're all in tightly, or else your wheel may wobble. You don't want wobbling mylar discs on this thing to wobble. So make sure those are all in evenly with your finger like I'm doing here. All right, so those look sort of copacetic, I think. Yep. Okay, so now grab this wheel here and just put the disc on the wheel like that. All right, so it's on like that. Now, you'll notice there's a little lip left here, and a tiny little lip. Do you see it? It's very, very small, but it's there. You can hit your fingernail with it. So now you want to put this little guy on here, this other mylar or nylon washer, and it's hard to get on, but that's where it goes. And I'm just going to push it on, and it's got to kind of seat without popping up. It's a little undersized, but not much. Do that without bumping the disc in the back. And I may not have it on perfectly, but let's see if we can do this here. Turn it over. Yeah. This is sort of hard to do, as I recall from the other PTO. It will go on, but not easily. Anyway, let's pretend I got that on there, okay? Bam, it's on there. So now you want to mount the other wheel. And to do that, you first want to find it. Where is it? Here it is. You want to find the KC wheel here. Make sure it's presentable, and you put it on like this. And ooh, look how gooey it is. So you want to get that crud off of there. And I didn't notice a little O-ring on there. Is it an O-ring, or what is that? There's that crud. Okay, pretend that it's clean, okay? I haven't cleaned it yet. Pretend it's clean. Anyway, put it on the right way. And line up these little holes here. So these holes only go one way, as I think. Okay, line the holes up. Okay, and then these little pins, if you lose one in the rug, you're done. So you don't want to lose these pins, and I don't even want to put them in right now, because I'm not ready to put them in, but I'll show you when. The little tiny pins go into the holes here, okay? So put them in. Do not lose them. You are totally hosed and screwed if you lose them, okay? Let's pretend those are in there, okay? Pretend. Pretend like you're a kid and say, yeah, it's all good. So, good. Now, the pins are all in. You want to put this guy through from the back. So it goes up like this, through there. Okay, so now we'll show the assembly where you have the pin on like that and the wheels on like that. So here, I could actually now circlip this thing. There's a washer you put on, and let's dig out this part. So we're getting there. Put that down there. Go to our little parts bin here, where I've kind of sloppily been storing parts. And you want to have this thing. That you need the rubber part. This rubber is bad. You need new rubber. This one is like it shouldn't go click click click. So you need to get that replaced. This doesn't apply. I need the washer out of here and the Circlip. Sorry, I wasn't ready for this video, but you need that and you need the Circlip. Things are flying all over the place. Okay, let's find the Circlip. And I don't see it because it's lost in this box. So much for being ready for the video, right? Okay, I see the Circlip. I don't think putting the screws in this box was a very good idea, but anyway, I didn't lose them in the rug, right? Okay, I got the Circlip out of here. There, how do you like that? There's the Circlip. So, I guess I'll move these screws out of the way so they don't fall on the floor. Into the rug of no return. And now we'll start putting this back together. So, that's how it looks. You put this guy on here. This goes on to here. And it goes not that way, but the dish part goes in. And you can see where the clip was sitting right there. So you drop it on like that. And then with that on there, you'll see there's a little bit of a lip there to put your clip on. So now let's put on the clip, and I gotta find the Circlip pliers. I'm sorry, I wasn't prepped for this video. I should be prepped for it, but it wasn't. Just skip ahead to see things that are useful to you. Alright, so I found the Circlippers. I guess I could remake this video and do it the right way, but here you would have this tool for your Circlip. Husky, 10 bucks, Home Depot, okay? This thing works great for a Drake. So, Circlip. These things can jump. You don't have to move this thing a whole lot, just get it on there. And to do it right, you don't want to mount it on there a whole lot. So here, let's move this out of the way real quick. And the way you can do this is this way. You just have it down like that. And you jump these pliers into it. And you want it basically to be barely in here, but not able to jump off. Okay, that's about right. So I'm using a table now as a spacer, and you don't want to open this very far. It will jump off. It could hit you in the eye. It can fly across the room or do worse things than that. You'll lose it. Okay, so don't do that. Now, it's time to put on the Circlip. So give it a look. Make sure it won't jump off. That's exactly even. I guess the camera, yeah, it looks pretty good. The camera can't really catch it, but it looks good. Now, grab this guy and make sure everything's down. Now, in real life, I would have this disc with the pins in, but I didn't put the pins in because it's too difficult for a demo. So, plus my discs need cleaned. So anyway, with my left hand now, I'm grabbing the assembly of this thing. Whoops, and the thing popped out. Put this back in. Okay. I have the iPhone bounce on a coffee cup, so it's working out pretty well. Now, left hand grab this thing and note how I'm holding it with my left hand. Oh, darn it. So you want to put your finger on this bottom gear and push it all the way through. So much for my demo here. Okay, real life stuff. If this thing was pinned, it wouldn't do that. You want to hold it, your finger on that gear in the bottom. That's the stack. So keep your finger on that gear. Put this back on. Now, with the gear, holding it like that. I'm holding it with one finger in the gear and two on the big gear, like that, right? Holding it at a 45. You take the C-clip and you try and put it on evenly. So I'm barely going to open this thing up. Just want to slip it on here without it flying off the room, across the room. This has never been easy for me. And I think it's because I can't see it too well. Okay, so that's not going so well. I'm going to hold it like this, try and look at it. And, okay, move it correctly and open it. Come on, baby, go on there. Come on. It doesn't take much to get it off, so if you can't get it on there, you're not aligned right, or it's poking too far through. It's not poking too far through. Let's make sure it's straight like that. Go back down. It shouldn't take much force though to open this thing up for the right diameter. And that's not working out. Okay, good. A little more force and it's on. So it's kind of a hair-raising adventure. So you want to get the clip exactly level with this brass bevel. You don't want to go any further. And so since we're on there now, and this side's not snug, this side's too high, I'm going to lightly apply the pressure on opening this circlip a little bit. And try and sink that one side down to its level. Okay, so open. You'll feel it sink down. There. Okay, so a little pressure, your thumb on there, it'll sink down. So I can't say this thing's perfect now, but you want to spin it and see. You want to see linearity. You don't want to see it have one side high or low. But anyway, for a demo, this is together enough. So this disc is floating. It's not attached because I didn't put the pins in. The little pins are tiny, as you know. Here, I'll show you the pins. The pins are here somewhere. There they are. Those things are so small, I just don't want to mess with them for this demo. But there's the 3 pins that would go into the wheel. I just don't want to do that right now. Whoa. Okay, so let's now mount this thing up to the PTO. So what you want to do then is you would move these gears so that it's lined up with a major number and a 0. So there's 0.3 or 300 kcs. You want to put the 0 on like that. So line up the zeros like that. Now, this PTO worm gear would need to be at the right frequency for 300 kcs. And it's probably not. I think I left it at 200. So it'd be nice to leave this thing at a known frequency, like say you're going to leave it at 200. So I think I did that. So I'll just say, yeah, I left it at 200. So you would move this to 200. Like that. And then you install it. So there we go. Now, you want to separate these worm gears. You want to separate these 2 gears. The only other problem is this gear here that's floating, it's floating, so you want to, and this is difficult, you want to take this off, and you want to stick it into here, like that. And then you can use your hand maybe like this, your finger like that to keep, okay, yeah, look at that. So we got it ready to go. So now you want to, this is like the tour de force, okay? You want to basically now get this thing to slide onto the PTO. And this is why you can't do it in the video, okay? Here we go. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Now, you want to line up that shaft with that gear while it's still stuck in his teeth, right? So let's see if we can do that. Well, there it goes. Okay, look at that. So it's gone on. Look at that. Now, what you want to do is open these gears up so they'll mesh. Right now they're not meshed. You can see the gear here is off a bit. You want to get this gear to kind of mesh with that one there. So pull this lever over here like this and push a bit. And it's not meshing because the other side's not meshing. So open this one here on this side a bit. Also, I guess open them both. Try to push it forward, doesn't go. Okay, if that doesn't happen, what you can do is it'll mesh by you turning it. So grab it here, and with this hand, you want to open them and turn it a bit until it meshes. Come on, baby. Okay, this one here is not cooperating on the left. It's almost meshing. Nope. Let's see, that one won't mesh. So let's see, how do we do this? What's not meshing here? It looks like it should just slide down in there. Let's give it a slight push here. Nope. It's not gonna go. So why isn't it meshing here? Nope, it seems like it is. Let's see, is it working? Yeah. So the one side's meshed. This side here is meshed. This side here is not meshed. So let's mesh it. So we're gonna move this lever up, and it should just click on down in there. This guy here should fall down in, and it should just mesh. So I'm not quite sure why it's binding. Okay, here, wow, look at the problem. So here's the problem. The damn plastic pin here, the plastic pin in the gear, has landed right smack on the keeper pin. So do you see what happened here? This is why I'm frustrated. So you see a little pin there. It's hitting the stopping pin. So pull it up a little bit. Actually, okay. So I've moved that. I've moved the PTO worm gear away from that pin. You see how I'm exiting that pin and I'm moving it away? Now it should fall down. So see now if you can push it down to mesh. Yep, it meshed. Okay, so that was a problem. So you can see it takes some finesse to put this darn thing back together. And once you get it together, you want to see if it runs smoothly. So now it's all together, and if you turn this now, it should operate like it should. So as a quick little sanity check, you could put this piece of rubber on, and this thing is like really bad news. It's not even rubber anymore, so you need a new one of these. This is like shot, but put it back on like that, and then find the large mega knob that goes on there. Let me find it. I am so prepared, right? All right, here's the knob. So I got the knob here. I just gotta find a screwdriver to. I kind of cleaned up this place, and now it's too clean, so I can't find anything. Okay, got it. Here's the big knob. It's all cleaned up. I got all the crud out of it from 50 years of people using the radio and not cleaning it. So you want to mount this thing, but not super hard. Just give it a little shove. I mean, don't manhandle it. You want to have enough friction that this will turn and this will turn in synchronicity. So this and this must have the same RPM. It must not slip, so you probably need a new rubber piece there, but I'll just put it on here for now. Give it a little bit of pressure and tighten it. A little bit, tighten it. Okay, so since I don't have this this disc mounted, it's not going to be a fair test because this one is loose. I didn't put the pins in, but if the pins were in, yeah, it's working. So you can see it going. It's spinning too fast because it's not mounted right, but anyway, it works. So that's how to put one of these back together. And then you want to do the sanity check on how well does it spin. So these discs shouldn't hit each other, and you could basically put your finger into here and spin it real fast. See, it should be quiet. So this PTO is probably the best one that I have. It's from a C line from a 4C. It's really nice. It's not been used a whole lot, I don't think. But it spins nice. It still spins a bit hard. Not real hard, but it doesn't make any noise, and you want these discs not to be warped. So my disc here is not attached, so it's going to be a little funny, but when you spin them, this radio survived. It's a survivor. The discs aren't really warped a lot at all. I just gotta clean all the crud off these discs now, all the soap and water, and clean these off. So okay, so what's next? This, of course, would need to be cleaned in here. So what I've done with these in the past is you want to get the crud off of the worm gear. So I've just taken a Q-tip and removed the crud from this thing. So this one has no lubrication on it at all. And then that's probably why it's stiff. And then you want to basically clean up this bearing. So what I usually do is just get a Q-tip and just start cleaning out this crud with a Q-tip. And it might take like 5 Q-tips to get this crap out of here, but that's what I do, like that. Just kind of get it all cleaned up, and then I'll put new grease in here, and it's all done. So that's how to do it. And then once you're all done, you want to use jumper clips. So you want to jumper clip the red wire to, I think it's 9-volt power inside where it used to go. The ground wire, you can ground this thing anywhere really. And then feed the jumper clip to your coax, and that will go into the injection frequency. And then if you're lucky, you can turn on the radio and use this thing out of the radio, and you want to make sure that this is calibrated outside the radio. And how you can do that, you can use a receiver that's accurate and then listen for the transmitted signal with the radio in tune and get this lined up. So what if you're not lined up? What if you're, say you're at 100 here, so you want to line up this little tooth here. So this little tooth is basically straight up. So you want to go to the little tooth there. And now you can see that the 100 and the tooth are pretty much lined up like that, right? So you want to have your 0 in here. So if we're on, say, 40 meters, 7.0, this would be 7.1. So at 7.1, you should hear output. So if you don't have output on 7.1, you can sneak if you're close, you can pull off this knob and sneak the worm gear on the PTO around. So you would want to be very careful and pull off the knob without disturbing any of the settings. Like that, knob is off. And then you want to simply turn this inner worm gear to vary the PTO without changing the dials. Okay, so you want to hold the dials and then tune the PTO itself until the frequency 0 beats on, say, 7.1 on 40 meters, and you're done. Once that's done, you would put this back on the radio. If you're way off, then say that the thing is way off. So then if you're way off, you want to open these gears here, and then it becomes free, and you can move this thing around to get it close to where you got to be for the chorus adjustment, like that. And then make sure it clicks in, like that. And for the fine adjustment, you want to use this knob here. to get your PTO synced. And it should be pretty close to being on the red vertical line, or they call that a gradicle or something. So it'll basically mesh up with the red line on the radio, which I have lying around here. And so you want to make it mesh up like this on the radio with the 100 and the 0, and this little guy here like that. How do you like that? So that's how to clean your PTO. Take it apart, clean it, calibrate it, get it back together. This is the whole disassembly, reassembly, reenactment. So I think now you'll be confident in reworking your Drake C-line, 4C line PTO. This should work out for anything in say 4C. If it's an R4C, or if it's a T4XC, or if it's a TRC, the PTO is pretty much the same, and it's an animal just like this. All right, so I hope you found this video helpful. Give me a thumbs up if you like it. Again, this is how to take apart the C-line PTO, the 4C line PTO in a Drake. And in this case, I didn't have to take off the casing. I would avoid taking that off if you have to. If your knob is loose here, if you can go have vertical movement in the bearing. I can feel a little bit of play here, but you want a tiny bit of play. You want like an 1/8 of a millimeter of play or something. You don't want much, but you want a little bit of play. You don't want it too tight. This one's perfect. If it doesn't work out, you got to put a long Allen wrench through here. W4FRN goes over this. And if you can't get one, you got to take the cover off and then fiddle in there to get the play right. But don't make the play too tight, and you don't want this thing to wobble. So I'm lucky enough that this one is perfectly aligned. Okay, so now we have it back together. We can take it apart. Let's go over that. I don't think I showed that, or did I? I don't know. Anyway, take it apart, take this guy off. And you want to take the snap ring out. So just rotate it. The snap ring is within your visual acuity. And we want to get this guy, put on the snap ring pliers. Okay, they're on. Now a little bit of tension. And off comes the snap ring. Put it down like that. Take off the washer. Okay, and now this whole thing could come off as one assembly. So you hold the wheels like this, and you turn it so the disengaging levers are here, and you can disengage it. And mind that this little gear here, you might want to put your finger on this little gear to help push it off. Rotate side to side. And since I don't have these, well, yep, there it comes. Okay, boom. That comes off like that because we have the Circlip off, so the wheels come off like that. This gear comes out like this. And because it's now working so well, that comes off last. Now you're back where you started, so you know the whole game now. All right, so hope you have a good Christmas, and if you get a Drake for Christmas, heaven help you, and the PTO doesn't work, that's how to fix it. So thanks for watching. Have a great day, and I think I'll take these to the sink, clean them up with some soap and water. Don't lose the tiny little pins here. Where are they? Right there. Don't lose those things. If you do, you're going to have a really bad day. You just don't want to lose those, all right? And this rubber thing here, I've heard that, where is it? This should be pliable. This one's not. This one's like a rock. So I don't think rubber should do that. I need a new one of those guys, a little coupling thing. So that's about it. Okay, thanks for watching. Have a great day. Peace out.